The radio stations of DoorCountyDailyNews.com at the Baudhuin residence, and you are the Deer Camp of the Year. First of all, congratulations to you and Joan, and thank you for having us here today. What a museum you have here, Dick. This is a lifetime, and we're going to show people throughout this video what you all have to offer, from mountain lions to buffalo and a bunch of whitetails and bear. This is incredible.
But I have to put a discredit on the buffalo. I did not harvest that. That was a gift from a game farm.
Okay, so that's probably the only one then that was not harvested by you or your wife.
There's some other mounts here, like that whitetail up there. Joan's dad got that.
Yep.
In 1956.
1936.
No, 56.
56. Okay, that's the best part about a couple. You're gonna argue no matter what.
We were born in 36.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, you're right. Darn.
Yes.
All right, 1936.
You admitted it.
Yeah, but I'm on drugs.
Well, we have a back surgery over here for Joan, and we have a tree accident, a tree fall accident. You fell out on opening day?
Fell out of a deer stand on Sunday night, and I've got 8 broken ribs and some lung problems. But I'm in good shape for the shape I'm in.
You're going to make her. Hey,
and
well,
very, very lucky to have come out of it so good.
Well, we are a part of Deer Hunters Roundup. Here's Dennis the Buck Bag and Barbara Ann Schutz, and we want to talk about some of the whitetail you have here. It's incredible. You have 12 on this wall we're going to see in a second, and another with a drop tine over here. Let's start over here, if you could, for us, Dick. Tell us a little bit about this incredible harvest. How many points and where and when you got this one?
I'm not sure how many points on there, Nick, but I shot him several years ago, and he had that, as you saw, the arrowhead stuck in his forehead. Somebody apparently shot at him a year or more before, and the tip of the broadhead was rubbing on the top of his tongue and had worn a groove in it. But that's pretty much all there is. We had seen him around.
Where was this thing harvested?
Just south of the house here.
Okay. And you have 500 acres here. We're going to get over here quickly so you can see this buck a little closer. The drop tine, which is just a huge mass, actually has velvet on the back yet too, which is really neat. You can see the velvet is truly incredible on this. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on this side, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, it's an 18-pointer. An 18-point buck. So this is the most points of any buck you've ever harvested?
I think so.
The 18-pointer.
I think so.
Well, the most recent buck you have on the wall, Dick, is this dark one here. And I'd love to hear the story about where and when you got this one.
Got him, I think, 3 years ago, just on the southeast corner of this 40, about 300 yards, 250 yards from the house, 250 yards from where we're sitting right now.
And what are you shooting? I'm curious. Are you same gun with all these, or have you gradually upgraded as you've gone along in your hunting career?
No, I think they were all shot with the same gun. And that gun is on injured reserve right now because when I fell out of that stand Sunday night, it broke the stock off right at the pistol grip.
What gun is that?
Remington 30-06.
And what's the farthest shot you've harvested one of these dandies with? You cover a lot of ground with that 30-06?
No, I think probably the longest shot on any of these bucks would probably be only maybe 110, 120 yards.
Okay.
Most of them are on less than 50 because it's pretty thick down here in the cedar swamp.
Mm-hmm. You have one here that has a discolored eye, and I can't wait to hear the story on this. And I hope our viewers can see this. I mean, absolutely, you can. It's a bluish, whitish. You see, here's the other eye. And this deer, probably from sparring, I would imagine, maybe took a horn in the eye. And you said it was blind when you harvested it.
Well, you don't really have a chance to talk to them about how good they can see, but according to the rest of the people in our camp, there's no question he was blind because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get him. No, I was sitting on a ladder about, I don't know, maybe 8-10 feet high leaned up against a tree, and as luck would have it, he came by in such a position that he had that blind eye toward me.
Hmm.
So it was pretty much a slam dunk.
The taxidermy in this room is truly incredible. And a couple of these you said are from Chambers Island?
Yeah, that one right there next to the window, down that
Okay.
one. That's Chambers Island from 1987. And then the one way over on the right, that way up in the upper right, no, way to the right, there you go. That's 1960.
Chambers Island, 1960.
Yeah, the rest are all from here.
Dick, these are all world-class bucks. I mean, you don't have one of them that is, maybe I'd get this one mounted. I think everybody would mount every one of these.
There's some of them there that, they're probably not more than an older 2-year-old.
Wow. So the bear, same story here, all harvested by you. You have a number.
Those rugs up there are Iron County.
Okay.
Those are all Iron County.
What do you have up here? There's some beautiful cats on the beams.
The smaller one of those cougars came from Wyoming,
Okay.
and the big Tom in the center was from Colorado.
Okay.
And all the bobcats were taken by Joan or myself, and they were all from Marinette County.
Unbelievable. It just the taxidermy work in this house is absolutely incredible. The bobcats are interesting too, especially this one over here, Dick. Joan said there's quite a story. Mr. Orthaber said that only you would mount something like this. I believe he's preening himself.
Yeah, she's breeding himself, and just a little sidebar. Mike did all of the cats in here,
Okay.
the cougars and the bobcats, and a number of the deer. A number of the deer as well.
Mm-hmm. I hear Mrs. Baudhuin harvested this beautiful bear, and I would like to hear it from you a little bit, if you could. Tell me about that bear story. What an incredible creature.
We walked and walked and walked and walked and could hear the dogs. They had the bear in the tree. We walked and walked, and finally we got there, and I shot the bear, and I said to Dick, just remember how this feels, because I'll never walk this far again for a bear.
And you said this was 250 pounds, was it?
Yes.
Yep.
250-pound black bear.
That's just weight.
Unbelievable. We'll get him focused in here. Beautiful creature. So you have turkeys and mountain lions and bobcats and grouse and pheasant, and the turkeys are just unbelievable. Are you more of a waterfowl or more of a big game hunter? I mean, I can't put my finger on what your favorite animal is to harvest because there's so much here, Dick.
I never was real fussy about what the hunt was. If it was a hunt, I was in for it. I think of all of the hunting that I do, and this is not the time of the year to say it, I suppose, deer hunting holds the least interest for me. However, that being said, now deer hunting gets to be more popular because Joan and the kids bought me a crossbow, and with the number of deer there are, it's gotten to be pretty time consuming for me for the fall.
You have some pretty neat waterfowl as well. Do you spend? Do you still like to go hunting? We see.
I haven't hunted waterfowl much in probably the last 10 years.
Okay.
Combination, the younger guys that I was hunting with are all busy raising a family, and the older guys that I hunted with aren't able to hunt anymore. So setting up decoys and getting out to hunt waterfowl alone gets a little more difficult than I feel like spending the time and effort on.
You have 500 acres of property here, 9 hunters. How many grandsons, how many granddaughters have you been with for that first harvest? I'm curious when it comes to whether it be buck hunting or waterfowl. Have you taken a lot of the grandkids out?
Well, we've got 4 or 5 grandchildren that either have hunted or are still hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the grandchildren hunted the first few years, but now are off doing other things, living in the cities or raising a family. So their time gets to be focus toward other things rather than hunting. Uh, I do get a chance to hunt with the grandchildren a fair amount, although most of the time the grandchildren end up hunting with their dad or their mom more than they do with grandpa.
Hmm. One last question, and it's I guess we're going to get a little political because you wrote a letter which was very nicely said, and we've been talking a lot about it on Deer Hunters Roundup. It has to do with harvesting does, and I'm curious just to hear it from the cat's mouth, if you will.
Well, there's a lot of controversy on that, and I think the big thing, Nick, is that short and sweet is we've been managing deer for the benefit of the deer hunter for a lot of years. And to one extent or another, in a community like we are here in Door County, and probably most of Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
deer affect all of us. It affects our availability of ag crops. It affects our uh, travel experience, whether we're driving ourselves or riding with someone. We need to be concerned about car deer collisions. It affects our insurance costs for automobile insurance costs. As the number of incidents go up, the premiums go up. As the premiums go up, or as the accidents go up, the premiums go up. So we're affected in that way. And the regeneration of woody stem plants, timber, is one thing that really bothers me because it's almost impossible in some areas to regenerate most any woody stem plant. And it's unfortunate that there are so few people that recognize that. Currently, and it's only been the last few years, Wisconsin has been charged the public County Deer Advisory Council, made up of 7 or 8, depending on whether or not you have all your seats filled. But the County Deer Advisory Council is people who volunteer their time to sit on an advisory council and make recommendations to the DNR. And if approved by the DNR staff and approved by the DNR board, those recommendations are followed. And in Door County, we've opted to recommend that we should reduce the herd. And in order to reduce the herd, our options to do that are very limited because the legislature took the oh so famous, or maybe not so famous, earn a buck away, and that's not an option any longer. The DNR cannot implement the earn a buck. So if we seriously want to reduce our deer numbers, we've got a few options. First is issue free antlerless permits, which we did this year. Each license holder was eligible to get 3 antlerless permits. If you had a gun permit and an archery permit, that would be a total of 6. And it doesn't appear that that's working because as of this past Tuesday, our deer harvest for the year to date, 2015 versus 2016, now this is just for Door County, we're about 100 head short. So that being said, we're not really affecting that deer population, coupled with the fact that we harvested more bucks than does. And when deer are born, they're born typically about half and half. So when you harvest, if you want to reduce the herd, you really should harvest more antlerless, more adult does than you do bucks. So it doesn't appear as though we're going to really affect the numbers this year. And that being said, the only other tool that's more aggressive that we have available to us would be to recommend an antlerless only season. And that is not going to be popular. I think most hunters heard what happened when Waupaca County recommended that. It was a turmoil. They couldn't get people to their County Deer Advisory Council meetings, but when they recommended antlerless only, they had some over 600 people there. I don't know that Door County will recommend that, but my guess is with the mix of people we have on that committee, they're pretty committed to try and get the deer herd down. And the antlerless season only looks to me like the only tool we've got. This year, most hunters have got 6 antlerless permits and we're not getting it done. So it's an issue, and I know I get criticized for saying that there's too many deer, and I would welcome anybody to give me a call. Right now I can't do it. I'm on injured reserve from that falling out of that stand, but when I'm able to, I'd just love to take a walk through the woods with you and point out what's happening and why I feel so strongly about that. In the ag community, for example, I talked to different farmers that farm a lot of land and mostly north of Sturgeon Bay, because I don't think there's many people that don't recognize that south of Sturgeon Bay we definitely have way too many deer. There are some people south or north of Sturgeon Bay that think there may be pockets where there are too few deer, but the farmers that I talk to tell me, don't quote me, because I have to get along with the landowners that own the land, and I have to get along with other hunters that think there aren't enough deer. But basically, what I'm getting is they're adjusting where they plant certain crops because they don't want to plant corn or soybeans near the woods because their crop is adversely affected and or they don't get a crop.
We're here with Dick Baudhuin, the Deer Hunters Roundup topic of the year. Will there be an antlerless hunt only? I guess only time will tell, but it's slowly leading that way.
I personally think it's the only option that we have unless we're able to get Ernebuck back. And we're working on that, but that legislative authority is going to take some time. I don't think that we could expect to get that done in under 2 years.
So the only hope then is that everyone quickly harvests does, or are we too far gone into this?
Well, there's still the opportunity. We've got another day left of the regular gun season. We've got muzzleloader, and we've got the later archery season.
Are they doing T-zone this year?
We're not going to have well, they don't call it T-zone anymore. They call it a antlerless holiday hunt. And we opted not to do that. The Door County Committee opted not to do that because we felt that it was not very popular and it adversely affected those people that were out hunting for the archery season yet, because during that antlerless gun season, there's a lot of other disturbance, and the archery people would rather see the woods more quiet. And it also adversely affects small game hunting because there's a lot of landowners that don't care to have other small game hunting activity on their land when they're deer hunting. And with 6 permits already, free permits in the hunter's hands, there's plenty of opportunity.
Well, we want to thank you so much for allowing us to come out here today and see what I've called a wildlife museum. This is absolutely incredible. Congratulations on all of your harvests and all of your successful years hunting. And thank you for letting all of us see inside the 2016 Deer Hunters Roundup Camp of the Year. It's the Baudhuin Camp. You've been great hosts, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick.
The Baudhuins on 104.1.